Russian military propagandist Vladimir Solovyov lost his temper live on air, promising to wipe the United States off the face of the earth and flood America with a radioactive tsunami in response to Donald Trump's statements. Solovyov's sharp reaction came after the US president said that in the event of Russia's attack on Ukraine, he was ready to strike Moscow and bomb Russian territory. These words became the trigger. Solovyov began shouting and making direct threats against Trump and all of America. A Russian TV presenter said that Russia will not stand idly by if American B-2 bombers are raised to attack Moscow. According to him, Russia is ready to use nuclear weapons and destroy the United States. The threats were verbatim on air. Let's wipe America to hell. We will create a radioactive tsunami that will forever create a strait named after Comrade Stalin. No golden diamond shitty dome that has not yet been built will be able to protect America. Solovyov continued his hysteria, insulting the Americans. Are you completely out of your minds? Who do you think you are? Americans? Come to your senses a little, you bastards. Russian and Western observers often note that Solovyov voices positions that are shared in the Kremlin in a more diplomatic form. Given this, one can assume that the Russian government is currently experiencing roughly the same atmosphere as nervous irritation and threats. Earlier, Trump delivered a scathing speech against Putin and allowed for the introduction of new sanctions against Russia. Trump's rhetoric has become a real cold shoulder for the Kremlin. The former American president spoke about sanctions and called Putin a man who kills his own and Ukrainian soldiers. Trump's statements about the war in Ukraine sounded like the most blunt signal of his entire political career. In an interview with the American journalists, Trump, for the first time, not only acknowledged the Kremlin's responsibility, but also actually indicated that he was ready to move from words to actions. Particularly harsh were the words in which Trump admitted, "I'm not happy with Putin. He's killing a lot of soldiers. He's killing his soldiers and Ukrainian soldiers. Putin's throwing a lot of crap at us. If you want to know the truth, he's very nice all the time, but he's being pointless. I'm very seriously considering sanctions against Russia right now." For Ukraine, these words were unexpectedly good news. For the first time since the war began, Trump not only showed emotional rejection of the Kremlin's actions, but also made it clear that he was ready to support real pressure measures. For the Russian government, this is an obvious signal. Even those who were previously considered almost loyal opponents are no longer going to turn a blind eye to the war and aggression.
An Iranian attack on an air base in Qatar key to the U.S. military likely hit a geodesic dome housing equipment used by the Americans for secure communications. According to Associated Press, that's according to satellite images analyzed Friday by the Associated Press show. The Iranian attack on Al Udeid Air Base outside of Doha, Qatar's capital, on June 23 came as a response to the American bombing of 3 nuclear sites in Tehran. It provided the Islamic Republic a way to retaliate, which quickly led to a ceasefire brokered by President Donald Trump, ending the 12-day Iran-Israel war. The U.S. military and Qatar did not immediately respond to requests for comment over the damage, which so far has not been publicly acknowledged. A confrontation erupted Thursday between protesters and federal officials carrying out a raid on a Southern California farm, with authorities throwing canisters that sprayed what looked like smoke into the air to disperse the crowd. According to Associated Press, vehicles from Border Patrol and U.S. Customs and Border Protection blocked the road in a largely agricultural area of Camarillo, California, lined with fields and greenhouses. There were military-style vehicles and a helicopter flying overhead. Television images showed dozens of demonstrators gathered on a road between fields where uniformed officers stood in a line across from them. In other images, white and green smoke can be seen as protesters retreat. Other images showed protesters shouting at agents wearing camouflage gear, helmets, and gas masks. It wasn't clear why the authorities threw the canisters or if they released chemicals like tear gas. Glass House Farms said on social media that it was visited Thursday by officials for Immigration and Customs Enforcement and fully complied with agent search warrants. The company has a permit to grow cannabis in the Ventura County, and as of last year used half of the space for cannabis while half was dedicated to tomatoes and cucumbers, the Ventura County Star reported. It was not immediately known which agencies participated in the raid. The incident comes as federal immigration enforcement agents have ramped up arrests in Southern California, heading to car washes, farms and Home Depot parking lots to take people into custody while stoking widespread fear among immigrant communities.